If you're new here, for the past 2 years we have been refitting this old sailboat. I mean, the sailboat's not that old, but it was sitting on the hard for over 22 years. So we did everything we could to bring this boat back to life, and we are right now on the last finishings to be able to finally splash and untie the lines. And if you have not been following, for the past weeks we've been working on the engine room mostly, and also on the electrical installation. So we installed this new electrical panel, but there's nothing on the back. We still need to do all the wiring now, and that's what we're gonna show you
Today.
I'm Roberta,
and I'm Duca.
and together we are on the mission of bringing this sailboat that was neglected for over 22 years back to life.
So don't forget to subscribe and to join us every Monday for a new episode. We're gonna basically transfer all this panel to here, and then we're gonna start a big transformation to this area, because as you know, this wasn't like this. This was like this.
If you don't know, watch our last episode.
Now all we need to do is to cut the bus bars to connect all the breakers together and do the wiring. So let's get started. Seems really good to me. Now let's try this in place and see. So I think we can go down the boat to do that outside, because we are doing quite a mess here. And I think the day is really nice. We can go outside a little bit, but first I think I'm gonna mark the rest, because I can cut just one time. I can just flip around and do the other way. What do you say?
Good.
Good morning. What's going on?
Good morning. Yeah, I'm just trying to keep going on the project because it's day 3 of wiring already. And now I'm just trying to organize the negative, and then we need to keep going on, choosing which circuit we want. We organize the positive and then the negative, positive, negative, and then the last one is gonna be light, because right now we are using light. And if we unhook the light here, we won't have light to work. So the last step is gonna be the lights, and then we have energy jacket at one point.
Not on time.
What's this for?
It's just to protect this piece of metal right here. It's just to guarantee that the wire won't, get
Touch there.
hurt on the metal. Yeah. It's just a small protection. I cannot cover the whole thing because here is where the wire comes from. So it's better to have this hose, but here I think it's better to have this screwdriver. Screws. This is basically what regulates the blower. You can move this piece forward and backwards, and then you choose how much power you want on the blower. So we are gonna install as it was, and then we can try and see how we want to leave. But for now, that's the place. So the positive comes to here, then goes to the panel. Good.
What's this wire for?
This is something that we used to not have on the boat. The bilge pump for the shower used to be just manual. Now we're gonna have manual, but also electric. And this is the wire for the electric one. We're gonna run this wire all the way through this shaft, and then from here there is a conduit. This conduit goes down to the bilge, and from the bilge we're gonna pass through this bulkhead with the hose for the bilge pump. I think it's gonna work. We're not gonna install yet. We're just gonna have the wires because we're doing the panel, so we want to have the panel complete, so we're gonna at least have the wire. Whenever we want to install the bilge pump, we just connect the wires and we're good to go. All the wires we need now.
Great. Luca already did some connections for the tips. I think we are doing a great progress. This is the 4th day we are working on this. Luca is working on this because it's impossible to be the two of us here. But we are doing great. I'm excited actually.
I think it's time. I really think it's time.
Or
We've been postponing to unhook this old panel because we have lights. The only circuit working on the boat right now is lights. But I think it's gonna be much easier if we unhook the lights and then there is no way back. We need to finish the panel. What do you say? We might stay without lights for 2 days.
we can turn on the lamp.
Yeah, the only one thing we have is the 110, the inverter, and we can have 110 volts light. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
And the last one. Then we are free.
Ta-da!
Out.
4 days later, a lot of work later, we have the panel out. That can be like a frame for a restaurant or for yeah. You guys want that? That's pretty cool. Let's keep going. Time to fix an old problem. I mean, it's not really a problem, but we can make the system better. When we install the new lithium batteries, Battleborn asked us to have a wire connecting the 12 volts panel to the battery with 6 AWG. We have a 8 AWG, that's the wire that connects the entire panel to the battery. So we need to replace for a thicker one. We're gonna fix that now. But in order to do that, we need to bring the big guns.
Big toys.
Yeah. As you can tell, Fred's back in town working on his boat because this crimper, that's the huge one, we always leave with him because he uses more often than we use and we share. It's ours and his. But we need to change this because this is for the battery cable that's 70 millimeters. Way too big. 16 millimeters. We say AWG6, but in reality it's a little bit even thicker because in Brazil we don't use AWG. This is 16 millimeters and AWG8 is around 13 millimeters and we don't have 13 millimeters in Brazil, so we decide for the next size bigger. Let's do this. Just like this, we have a perfectly crimped terminal. This is so good.
Yeah. You don't need to watch us passing these wires, right?
You do need to watch us doing this.
Okay, we feel
because
this.
they need to know how hard it is. Time lapse.
Okay.
Time lapse it is.
We did it!
Yeah, they're here. We still need to do the connection to the bus bar, the negative bus bar. Sorry. The red one's gonna go through here, around here, have a connection, and then it's gonna be wired to one of these bus bars. It's really good. That was a lot of work. Yeah, but now we need to leave. I need to do something that I'm, late on doing it. My driver's license is expired, so I need to go renew my driver's license now.
So let's go.
Bureaucracy, but you guys are gonna skip this part. You're just gonna come back to the pen like this.
Are you proud?
Yeah, check this out. Finally, all organized, all labeled, we have label on every single circuit of the entire boat, and that's so cool. Now we can see, oh, what's this wire? Oh, exterior panel. How about this one? Interior lights. So we know everything, and here is so much cleaner now that we can use this space for the electronics. But there is a secret. No wires here, right?
Right.
But check here. So we use this string to hide all the wires that come from that part of the boat. And here, of course, we could be even better. It could be like 100% straight and perfect, all coming from the same spot, but it's just a small space with wires coming from everywhere in the boat, from the bottom, from the top, from that top, from everywhere. But I think for the first time I did that in my life, it's pretty good. Now all we need to do is to connect the wires coming from this connection bar to the panel. The reason we did that is because this is a temporary panel. Of course, not really temporary, it's gonna last for a long time, but one day we want to build a custom-made panel the way we want, and when we do that, if we do that, we just disconnect the wires from here and we replace the panel. We don't need to touch anything after these connections. So now we need to connect every one of these bus bars, connect to the main positive from the battery, and then wire all these to the panel. And that's the next challenge, because that's going to be tricky, because I want it to be really neat and organized. You think you can do it? I think we're going to start with this one. That's the hardest one, and then when we have this ready, every single wire we connect to the panel, it's working already. Because right now we have no, even if we connect this to the panel, we don't have energy on the panel. So this is the energy on the panel. Let's do it.
Really good at that.
This is professional. So these one now is gonna connect.
First one.
Check. Now we need to do this connection. It's gonna be somehow.
What's the plan?
We're trying. We're not sure if it's gonna work, but these need to work with the door. When you close the door, these need to have space to bend. So I'm gonna have this zip tied here just to test if I lock here, if it's gonna have enough space to open and close. And if this works, then we have each one of the wires coming from this bus bar. We just come and lock to these wires together. So all together, hopefully they're gonna do the right thing. And this one, instead of locking in place, it's just, you can slide. It's firm attached, but it can slide to work when this twists. I think it's gonna work.
This is all theory. Hope it works.
Everything starts with a theory, at least for me. Seems good to me. I wish I was a little ant or bee or something that I could go inside of there
You can.
and see.
You can.
Oh, good. You know, we can see inside.
Let's see. Let's see.
I think it's really good.
Next.
From here. So here I need 3 connectors. Enough. These goes. So now we need to install this, because I found out a fuse. Yeah, I found out that we installed on the wrong fuse, because 2 days ago we connect to the fuse that goes to the inverter charger, but that's a problem, because if the fuse from the inverter charger breaks, that means we lose energy on the entire boat. So we're gonna do 2 different fuses. That one is a 250 amps fuse, this is 100 amp fuse. So I'm gonna have one fuse is specific for the panel. So if we have any short circuit on the panel or any wire coming from any of the systems, it's gonna be protected. And also the inverter charger through a 250 amps fuse on the board.
I think it's a good idea.
I think it's a really good idea. It's a good way, right?
Yeah.
So basically, this is the wire that's gonna give all the power to the panel. From here, it's gonna go to a fuse, and from here goes up to the panel. That's it. The positive is ready. We just need to connect the fuse, and we have the panel with electricity. The energy is already on the panel. Now all we need to do is to connect these wires to each circuit. We're doing really good progress. Now we're just gonna tie this up here, and we're gonna leave this wire long because this is the wire for the next panel. This one's gonna be here, and for this one we have already this waiting for the future, because that's not gonna be right now, but the wire is already here. See you tomorrow.
So,
I think that's the scariest moment so far on this project. I have this all tied up, but I'm not sure if this is gonna close because this is really thick and it's hard to find a way for this to bend while... See? It's hard. I'm gonna give a try like this. I mean... It's in. Yeah, let's put the cell phone inside. I think it's okay. I think that's a win. Are you ready for this? Last connection, and then we just need to trim this, but this is important. It's the last connection of the entire panel. I mean, there's always something missing. The head, we still don't know if we have this wire because it's really thick wire, 10 millimeters thick, and we want to have directly from here to the battery, and we still need to dig deeper to see if we can find the wire at the boat, otherwise we need to order. But when I connect this, we can already try the panel. That's really something, and we might have electricity back on the boat. That's really good.
can't wait for it.
Yeah. As you can tell, we don't have wires coming out of these ones, and the reason for that is because these are just spare breakers. Whenever we want to connect something extra, we just connect from here, and we have the wires to the panel already, so we don't need to every time, you know, unhook everything and redo everything again. Now, the happy part of the job, I think that's it.
Perfect.
In order to try this out,
You need
to install the
fuse in place.
that's the last step, because of course we're not working on the panel with all the wires hooked to the battery. There's nothing hooked to the battery because of this.
I can't wait to have energy back in the boat, and we can have water back and everything.
And lights, because right now we are working with one light and headlamps. That's all we have for now. Not for so long. That's it. Fuse, is in place. And now
I'm in place.
Wait.
I even put the seats back.
Are you scared?
No, I'm
No, because you didn't do it. But you.
Lights?
Wait. We have no names. Yeah, we need to follow this because we still didn't install the stickers. By the way, I don't know if you guys noticed that we have a tag in every single circuit, and that's how we did it. We love it. After years dreaming on buying one of these machines. Yeah, I always wanted I wanted to put tags in everything. So we bought this, and next step is to label each one of the circuits. But for now, I think we can use these because we are excited to try.
Can I?
Let's turn off this light first. Now we can try. Yep. Ta-da! We have light back. We did it. Fred, thanks so much for all the teaching you did over the past 2 years, because I'm proud to say this time I did by myself. That's pretty cool. Yeah, we did the entire panel. That was a challenge. We didn't know if we were gonna be able to properly do and, you know, have a beautiful panel.
Look at this.
And I think it's pretty good for the first time. Don't you think?
It's great, actually.
Now we need to try other systems, because we need to try each one of the systems and see if everything works.
Can I?
Yeah. But I don't think you guys need to see...
Just one.
Which one?
This one.
Which one is this one?
Here, come with me. It's working.
Yeah. Can I try one? Can I just try one more? Yes. The blower is working. Yeah, we have
How
a blower.
about the engine room lights?
Engine room lights. Working. That's a win.
So now the last step. That is, we are not gonna use this voltage
Voltimeter
as we don't have 110 watts
on this panel.
on this panel. So we are gonna cover this with an Odd Life Crafting sticker.
But don't we need a voltage meter?
Yes, I forgot about that. We are gonna use a Zentrax one.
Yeah, this is not just a voltage meter. This is a way of monitor the entire battery, everything from the battery. But this is gonna be on the next panel. That's the reason why we don't need a voltimeter there, because this panel used to be 110, and that's, by the way, we should say that, because everyone's gonna comment, why didn't you keep the panel as it was? Because you had an entire panel working. This is 110 panel. We wanted a 12 volts panel, so that's why we replaced all the wires, because we need to change the size of the wires. And this voltimeter is basically just a way of holding the Odd Life Craft sticker.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because we need something to fill up the gap. That's gonna be awesome.
It's great.
So now we have an Odd Life Crafting electrical panel. Yeah.
I said this was the last step, but it isn't.
It isn't? What's the next step?
The names.
Oh, the names. Here are all the names. You wanna do 2 lines or
2
one line
lines
first?
because it's configured.
Shower. We did.
A secret.
Yeah. We need to run tests before we run in front of the camera, of course.
We did
So-
a test. So this is 2 lines using this, and
This is 1 line.
So this is preset for 2 lines, as we need to use thicker letters and
Yeah, different configuration. So shower bilge pump.
ready,
Yeah,
set,
go.
go.
That's so cool.
Next.
Check. Salt water pump.
Isn't it beautiful? I'm really proud of Duca's work. Check this out. Oh, the panel brought us something. Patrons' names. Welcome on board Stephen, Onofrio, Guillermo, Gary and Joanne, Mark, Walter, Kenneth, Tom, and we also want to thank all the donations for our PayPal. So thanks so much Odyssey Publishing, Brett, Jerome, and Robert.
Guys, thanks so much. We really appreciate your support, and we also appreciate your patience, because sometimes it may seem like we are really slow at what we do, but the truth is we wanted to do it right, and these videos are straight away. Like, we are recording these, I think like 3 or 4 days before you watch. 3 days before you watch. So that means we don't have much time in between videos, and we don't have like 3 months of images to show you. It's just the way it is. It's a refit, and a refit sometimes takes longer than we believe.
And we are learning along the way as well.
We're learning a lot along the way. That's the main thing. We're learning so much along the way, and this is a proof of that.
Yeah.
Before this project, I'd never touched electrical wires in my life. That was a challenge and a really exciting one. And just so you guys get relaxed, we are still planning on going to the water next month. We are still working on that. The reason why we're doing other projects is because the steering pedestal panel is not ready yet, and we need that to be done properly. And while we wait for that, we are doing some other stuff, and as soon as it's ready, we splash the boat no matter what. Even though if we don't finish the electronics, we'll go to the water anyways. We're just using this time wisely, and if the panel is ready, we just go to the water and then we do electronics on the water. That's the plan?
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan?
Yeah. See you next week.
See you next week.